So I just want to vent about something real quick. So I was on the bus, and this guy was like, he was just making a joke, but the guy was like, "I'm retired," and he was like, "Oh no, you ain't retired. God retired you." And that thought just came. I'm like, I was thinking about that all the time. Like, what does it mean when you're retired? When God retires you, but the world doesn't approve. Just because God retires you doesn't make it, it does it's kind of, it doesn't make it right in the world's eyes, because it's just like God knows your health. God knows what you need. God knows what it's going to take to heal you and restore you and make you strong and make you fit to, serve God's kingdom. So when the world doesn't approve, it's like everything is just against you. It's like, how can I how can I survive? You start the question, how can I survive? Everything's going wrong for you. You try to get a job, job's not working out. You try to get your mental straight, but everything just keeps egging you on and triggering you and making you feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, I have to have a job. I have to support myself. I have to, you know? But then God, is it true? Do you believe that God has retired you? I feel like God has retired me at a young age. I feel like the God has retired me, and I thought about it. I'm just like, wow, it must feel really, really good to be retired. It must feel really, really good to retire and then have you know, all of your, money coming in from all those times where you worked your butt off, and now you laying back and you sitting back and you reaping the benefits of putting in all that work. But it's people like me that struggle mentally, where it's just like, we want to work, but it doesn't work out, or it doesn't last too long. We want to work and we feel good, but guess what? An hour later, how you're feeling it's not stable. It's not consistently, it's not, you can feel content one minute and then you're lashing out the next. I can have it all together one day, and not even a day. Like, I can have it all together. This is how mental people try to just function. I can have it all together in one, and then the next hour, everything is just like, whoa, like, what just happened? This is when God has retired you. But for you to be retired, you have to go in the world. You have to go get a prescription. You have to go get on disability. You have to go get on this, that, and the third, just so that you can prove to this world that God has retired me. But what if you can't? What if you don't have the resources to do all of those things? When God retires you and the world doesn't approve, how do you survive? How do you keep pushing on, especially as a single mother with a child? You sit there and you wonder and you worry, and then you begin to panic. Is it possible? It's not possible for God to retire you in this world. Even though it's possible, with God it is possible, but the world is against it. You're not retiring her. And if so, on my end, she gonna struggle until we get what we want. We want her to work. We want some money coming in. And God is saying, my child is not going to work. My child is sick. My child is sick. My child is not going to work for you. But it's the world against God. And that's what it is. It's a lot of people out here wondering why they can't get a job. You know, people out here living in the woods. People out here trying to get into shelters and they can't get in. People out here driving around just to get by because they got kicked out of their apartment. They got kicked out of their shelter. They have no shelter over their head. They're out here struggling and they're living, for survival. There's women and babies out here living out in the cold, and you wonder why this baby died from hypothermia. This anemia, has frozen to death because God doesn't want these people to work. God is retiring people. You can't get a job because God doesn't want you to. God knows what you need, and it is not in this world. This world, it will only make you worse. Your health will only decline going out into these jobs, and God knows this. But the world doesn't approve, and now we're struggling. and we're wondering why. You know, how can I live the life I'm supposed to? And how can I get by? You are retired in God's eyes, but the world is not on your side. And this is why everything is happening the way it is. They're making it hard for you because they're mad. They're mad that God has retired you. You know the saying, when somebody wants you out, but you refuse to go, they're going to make your life a living hell. And that is exactly what it is. And that's exactly what I'm going through, what a lot of people like me are going through, sitting around wondering why we can't get a job. And we're in the most vulnerable position. We can take our job, we can take our child to the interview, you know, and still not get the job. We can be out here showing them everything in our cars. We living in our cars and this and that. And still we don't get the job. Why? You know, I'm sorry. That's my little vent of the night. I just need to vent. I don't feel any better because I still got a lot to think about. But yeah, life sucks. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share, at your own free will. Show you care. Bye.